Hey, what's up everybody? It's the People's Crypto. I'm back again with another video. We have some interesting new developments in the cryptocurrency space, but before we dive in, please keep in mind that this video is for entertainment purposes only. Please do your own research and please seek out a financial advisor with a background in cryptocurrencies or digital assets. Alright, so most of the news stories that we're going to cover today, it's somewhat pessimistic, but I just wanted to bring these stories or articles to your attention to show you that a lot of this is FUD and they're trying to scare a lot of newcomers out of the cryptocurrency space, or people who are already in the cryptocurrency space. They want to, kind of develop doubt in a lot of investors' minds. So this is just something to just be on the lookout for, because we're going to see more articles like this in the next coming days, weeks, months, and years ahead. This one is titled "Yellen Sounds Warning About Extremely Inefficient Bitcoin." Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen on Monday warned that Bitcoin is an extremely inefficient way to conduct monetary transactions. She spoke as the cryptocurrency price tumbled in the morning trading, but remained above $53,000. All right, so her first statement is completely wrong. It's actually extremely efficient. There's investors or whales that have over $100 million worth of Bitcoin, and they're actually able to send all of that money from point A to point B and pay as little as anywhere from $5 to like maybe $6 in transaction fees. Meanwhile, if they were to take that same amount of money in a bank and try to transfer it to another bank or somewhere else, there's tons of transaction fees. They're looking at maybe paying anywhere from about $80 to maybe $300,000 in transaction fees. So there's that problem. So Bitcoin solves the problem of sending money from point A to point B and paying virtually next to nothing for it. So her first statement is completely wrong. And also, even though the price tumbled this morning, I think we dropped all the way down to $46,000. Right now, at the time of recording this video, we're trading roughly above, I think, between $53,000 and $54,000. But, a lot of this is just FUD, and she's trying to scare out new investors from getting into the cryptocurrency space, more specifically Bitcoin, and also, trying to create fear in long-term Bitcoin investors. Another thing that she said in this article was that she fears that, Bitcoin is used for illicit finance or illegal transactions. And honestly, cash is used for illegal finance or illegal transactions. You have people in the drug industry, the illegal drug industry, that uses cash to make transactions. You also have people in the sex trafficking industry that use cash to make transactions, and it's completely disgusting, but that's something that does happen. So for her to say that is pretty interesting. Also, for illegal transactions, I believe Monero, the privacy coin, is usually the coin of choice when it comes to making those type of illicit financial transactions. So that's just something to be mindful of. But we're going to see another story or another article from another outlet. Pretty much the same thing. Bitcoin drops after Elon Musk's tweet. Yellen warns it's extremely inefficient. For the older people that are not in the space, when they see these type of articles pop up, it's just going to scare them away from getting into Bitcoin, because they're going to say, hey, Bitcoin is used for illegal transactions. So that's just going to be more people that's going to just be scared away from getting into the cryptocurrency space, not knowing that, there's tons of people that have got into Bitcoin early, and a lot of these people are well off. Many people are retired. Many people have quit jobs that they hate. Many people have left countries that they didn't like. So, Bitcoin is creating a lot of opportunity for people to change their lives, their settings, their jobs. It's just creating all of this opportunity. And unfortunately, these people in the elite class or in the old system, they don't want you to get into Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies, because they want you to be obedient slaves, and they want you to be dependent on the government, which may not help you if there's a crisis. Or they want you to stay at a job that you hate, and you may not get that promotion or raise or other opportunity that you may be looking for. Bitcoin doesn't care about any of this. It creates an equal opportunity for everyone to get wealthy. Doesn't matter your race, your religion, who you are, where you're from. It just creates an opportunity for you to create wealth. And unfortunately, they don't want people to buy Bitcoin. let's take a look at our next story. More or less the same. Institutional Bitcoin investors briefly lose 13 billion in biggest ever market dip. It says companies holding significant amounts of the cryptocurrency today lost billions in a flash, but the coin has bounced back and their investments are once again looking rosy. So, you'll see that, and, most people will just read the first part and says institutional Bitcoin investors briefly lose 13 billion. That alone will scare people. And we recovered. It wasn't a big deal. We dropped to like 46,000 and now we're trading right here around 54,000 from the time of me recording this video. So it's really nothing to be afraid of. This market the volatility is insane, but also the gains are insane. You just have to hold on for the long term. And I don't think you'd even have to sell any of your Bitcoin because, truth be told, we hit a $1 trillion market cap. At some point in the future, you'll just be able to spend your Bitcoin, and you'll have, even if you have one, just spending fractions of it, you'll be able to do so much just spending those fractions of your Bitcoin. So just keep that in mind. Hold on for the very, very long term. That's just my investment opinion. Let's take a look at the next story. Big short investor Michael Burry warns governments could squash Bitcoin. Now, the one thing that I find really funny about this particular article is that, people keep saying this things like, oh, governments could squash Bitcoin. Now, there's a pretty funny effect called the Streisand effect. And basically that is when governments or corporations try to ban something, it actually makes it more sought after by people. So if all governments were to come together and say, hey, we're going to ban Bitcoin, then you would probably see that price skyrocket. Also, keep in mind that we have publicly traded corporations buying Bitcoin. We have Tesla, we have PayPal, we have MicroStrategy, we have many other corporations that's adding Bitcoin to their balance sheet. And also there's so many other wealthy investors that's buying Bitcoin. So the idea that Bitcoin will be banned by governments, I don't see that happening. Yeah, you might have some governments in certain parts of the world saying that, hey, we don't like Bitcoin. They'll probably try to ban it or restrict it. That's going to happen. But eventually they change their tune. You never know. Those same governments could be accumulating Bitcoin themselves, which is a very big possibility. Also, it seems to me today that social media companies have more power than governments because they're able to actually ban certain presidents from having accounts with with their platforms. So it seems like, these tech giants have more power than our governments because they're able to silence certain people. So I think that's just a little funny. If Facebook, YouTube, and all of these other different platforms can silence the former president of the free world, then, how are they going to shut down Bitcoin? I just find that hilarious. But anyway, that's neither here nor there, but I just think that's actually pretty funny. But for them to squash Bitcoin, I think this is just another FUD article. So just keep that in mind that, most of these articles that's going to come out is just to scare off new investors from getting into the cryptocurrency space. But remember, like I said previously, there's a bunch of big companies getting into the cryptocurrency space, and that's not going to stop. We're going to see more adoption happening as it pertains to Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. So just be extremely mindful of that. Let's take a look at our next story. It says U.S. Treasury Secretary floats idea of digital dollar maintained by the Fed. Now, didn't the Treasury Secretary just float the idea that, Bitcoin is extremely inefficient and it's used for illicit transactions? Well, what do you have here? Now the Treasury Secretary is saying, hey, they want to have their own central bank digital currency, and they want to have it maintained by the Federal Reserve. So there we go. Clearly, they have their own agenda and they want to roll out their own digital currency. So obviously they're going to bash Bitcoin and say a bunch of negative things about it because they want to control the narrative. They want you to be in their new system They don't want you to get Bitcoin and become wealthy and potentially move out of whatever country you're living in. They want to control, track, trace every single transaction and tax you like crazy. So just be mindful of that. You know, I'm going to include all of these articles in the description below, but the negative news is never going to stop. They're always going to put out these FUD articles, and unfortunately, the different platforms that we get these our news from are going to put these things out there to scare out investors. A lot of people still think that it's too late to buy Bitcoin, but you can still buy fractions of Bitcoin. I think like 1 million Satoshis now would cost you maybe $500 or $600. So just be mindful of that. It's still early. It's not too late. The best strategy is perhaps to dollar cost average in, maybe every paycheck. You dedicate maybe 10 or 20% of your check to Bitcoin. And at some point in time, you'll eventually get to one. That's just one strategy. Another strategy you can do, which I don't really try to push on people or recommend, is just buying altcoins, waiting for those certain altcoins to pop, and then sell them or exchange them for Bitcoin. That's another strategy that you can use. Now, that's just my investment opinion. But that one could be extremely risky. The safest way is honestly the dollar cost average in. Also, you have to remember there's not that much Bitcoin left. We have these gigantic corporations buying up as much Bitcoin as possible. So the supply is shrinking, and that's going to cause the price to further skyrocket. So just be extremely mindful of all of that. Let's take a look at the current cryptocurrency prices. I think I need to refresh this to make sure that the prices are accurate. And Bitcoin right now is $54,092.69. Ethereum is $1,777.94. Binance Coin is $267.76. Tether is $1 as always. Polkadot is $37.69. Cardano is $1.10. XRP is 57 cents. Litecoin is $208.22. Chainlink is $31.58. Bitcoin Cash is $632.89. Stellar Lumens is 46 cents. Uniswap is 27.72. 72. I thought I said 22. USD coin is $1. Dogecoin, everyone's favorite coin, is 5 cents. I'm being sarcastic, obviously. Wrapped Bitcoin is $54,209.70. Neem is 69 cents. Crypto.com is 21 cents. Aave is $400.75. EOS is $4.72, and Cosmos is $21.31. That is going to wrap it up for this video. I hope you liked and enjoyed it. Please like, share, comment, and you can follow me on YouTube, ODYSSEY, LBRY. I'm on another platform called bitlink.tv, and I'm trying desperately to get my videos up on theta.tv. That's going to be happening real soon. You can also follow me on Twitter and Float. Here's my Float, and here is my Twitter account. And that's going to do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, and I will see you guys and gals later.